The Lord of the Rings.
We don't fuck around, do we?
Oh, Fellowship 2.
Oh, man.
That's actually the fucking best. That's the best film as well.
One does not simply walk into.
Hey guys, I'm Harry, and I'm here with Thundercat, the Dragon Ball do-rag donned feline aficionado, bass playing boss. How the fuck are you going?
I'm all right.
Oh, so used to doing that.
Yeah.
I realized you got your own mic. You just dropped Distracted recently, and one of the things, I mean, that I saw you acknowledge on your Instagram is the constant Thundercat Where's the album. I mean, 6 years between albums is a reasonable amount of time, I would say, but I would say in the last few years, particularly, the fans have a bit more ability to apply pressure and sort of have a higher expectation for when music's being released, maybe?
No, it's like selective outrage.
Yeah, but
I think we can get really selective with the outrage, you know? It's just like, where's the album? And it's just like, I don't know, man. It could be underneath these tax bills. Let me just give me a second.
I'm just trying to breathe here right now.
Like, give me a second, bro. You know?
Yeah, I mean, like, well, what do you think? Because, like, obviously, I mean, you look at any artists, you know, fucking Instagram, TikTok, or whatever it be, and there will be a comment being like, so when's the album coming up?
To be honest with you, I love it. I appreciate it because it's proof of life, you know? It's like, it's one of those things where it's really appreciated. It's kind of a, I always look at, I look at most things like it's a double-edged sword. But I think that there's a part of it where I kind of look at it more or less like it's, you know, it's always a reminder to like that this is what you do, you know, if you ever lose your way or something like that, people kind of are reminding you. I also think that it's a very bit of an insatiable part of the internet where people are just so, you know, it's so used to like a feed. You know, like even when you look at Instagram sometimes and it's kind of like, it's called a feed.
Yeah.
Like, what are we, a bunch of horses on a track?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's
Got a slot bucket.
Yeah, literally. It's just like filled with glyphosate. And it's just like, I don't feel so bad about it. I feel like I'm very connected to my fans in a way where I try to like, you know what I mean? I try to make it a safe space to also be able to talk like that. You know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those things where it's like, you're not crazy for saying that to me.
No.
You know what I mean? You're not.
Yeah.
And it's like, what have I done the last 10 years of my life? Put out albums. So where's the album?
Yeah.
You know,
it's coming, man. Just
yeah. Sometimes you wish some people would shut up and just put the album out. You know what I mean?
Anyone that comes to mind when you say that? I've already got a thought.
Yeah, like, both of us immediately
just like smank.
Yeah,
Ocean.
I'm not gonna say any names, but you know.
I mean, at this point, yeah.
Yeah.
I've just given up on that. On that one. I'm just like, it will come out when it comes out.
Yeah, you know, and I'm always a big firm believer in trust in the process, and you know, I think it takes the time it takes to do these things. So it's kind of like.
What was the link between Brown Sugar and Voodoo for D'Angelo? I'm pretty sure that was like quite a while as well.
Oh man, yeah, that's what I mean. It's like the process is the process, bro, and it's like. You know, even if the world's changing and everything moves fast and all that stuff, I also feel very much like music is a bit of a timeless entity. So it's bigger than your demand, I think, the music. You know, I mean, a lot of the time it's kind of like...
What you're asking for, you don't even actually know the full scope of it.
No.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, like in a world that praises your demise, in a world where, you know, like it's almost like even when, you know, like sometimes the stuff people do to sell albums is pretty crazy too. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, like I see memes every now and again with somebody like posting like Miles Davis and saying, imagine telling him he needs to be more socially, like he needs to have more, he needs to provide more content.
Needs to provide more engaging content for his audience.
It's like, what do you mean?
Imagine that conversation, how that would go
like,
down.
Saying that to John Coltrane or somebody, you know, it's just like, what?
Can you make a few more memes for the next round of content? Like,
oh yeah, there would be. Oh yeah, there will be lots and lots of memes.
Speaking of memes though, so there was when I was looking back at your Instagram, I got reminded of something that I fucking loved from like 2019. I think it was your Anderson Park tour, and you're doing those videos like those on tours. You're like doing the equations like send help and just fucking stabbing the air with knives. And me and my friends would send that to each other and be like, these are fucking, and you'd like make bespoke tracks to your like
to the meme.
And you were I think you were just wearing like an orange robe with a Punisher hoodie on.
Yeah. setting up for this massive concert.
I think he just took a shit in the bush at one point. Yeah.
Played with it a bit.
Yeah. Can you tell me a bit more about those
Taking
videos?
shit in the bushes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. I mean, anything you want to.
A lot of that content was me and Zack Fox creating some stuff, you know. I guess if you leave me alone long enough, stuff gets weird.
I mean, that reminds me of just being in lockdown and like during COVID. I was just like, sometimes someone likes my videos from like 2021. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, like I was in a sunken place.
Like 3 months alone in my room, depressed.
Oh my God.
The weirdest shit would just come out and someone likes it. I'm like, private.
I think there was one moment that now that you're talking about it, there's one moment to me that does stand out that was funny as hell. Even for me, when I look back on it, I think that it was funny because even with Zack in those moments, I feel like Zack is like at a different point in life. Zack was the dude that was probably the actual beginning of the apocalypse. Like, you know, everybody's looking for the Antichrist or whatever, and it's like, no, I was gonna start with Zack Fox looking like
Zack Flops?
Zack Flops. Zack looking like Ned Flanders. Like, it's just genuinely like
He does have the Ned Flanders swag going on right now.
Well, no, this was even earlier, Zack. This was genuine Ned Flanders.
Was this when he was doing like the Jesus is the One, like on the cave and stuff? Like, he was on that wave.
There's a collapsed state Zack Fox too. But the funniest moment when I think back and I look at all the stuff that we were creating like that, there was this moment that happened where I was on stage screaming to the top of my lungs. I think I had just gotten broken up with. I got broken up with.
Perfect time to be on stage in the public.
I was sound checking. Yeah, I was sound checking. And he caught me right mid, like, mental window shatter. And I guess it was funny. It was like my best friend had just passed and then my girlfriend left. And then I was just like, I was completely gone. He caught it on camera.
And then he published it for the world to see.
And like some of my friends, I guess, maybe were like, no, that's just a normal day for you. But I think when I look at it, I go, oh my God, I think that was the moment that it all hit. That was the
It all just like came down. And what, you just screamed into the mic?
I'm screaming in the sound check. We're playing this song that's in like 19. It's just like, what are we playing? And I'm just screaming. I was like, help me!
That's probably where the idea for that video came from.
Yeah.
You're doing like MC squared help me.
Like, help me, bro. Like, yeah, full on mental collapse. It was great.
Well, speaking of the Zack Fox filmed videos, because he directed the Dragon Ball Durag video clip, didn't he? It
did.
It was Quinta who did Abbott Elementary, and then you had Caliuchis and Chaim, and you actually almost got Esty with your moves. They're coming out of the dumpster.
I'm like this. I guess we'll never know.
She's like, call me. I remember sending that video around. I was like, in 2020, I was like, yo, you guys got to check this video out. This is the best video clip I've ever seen. And I remember I showed this chick, and she was just like, I was like waiting for her to laugh. No laughs. And I was like,
because she's tired of that guy. She's met that guy.
I was like, wait, no, it gets really funny. And it was just me sitting there for 2.5 minutes waiting for her to laugh, and nothing happened. And I was like,
she's tired of dudes hopping out the trash can on her, bro. Like, she's seen too much.
I was pulling that move, but I was like, this is smooth. And then I was just like, right, I'll go fuck myself real quick.
Yeah, hopping out the trash can is another level of commitment to stupidity. Yeah, that could have ended badly. I could have gotten hepatitis.
What was the thought process behind? I mean,
hopping out of a trash can.
I mean, just the whole video. I mean, like, just shooting.
There was no process.
Okay,
there was no thought. It was just like, It was like, if I had to think about what that moment was for me, it was like, I would compare it to like Jay and Silent Bob standing outside of movies.
1 or 2?
2.
2, yeah.
Standing outside of movies. And he's like, put something on to like, he's like, put something on I can groove to it. And it just goes immediate silence of the lambs. That is that moment in a nutshell.
Was that the song? Was that the movie that had the Afro Man song, Because I Got High, on it?
Was that? Yeah, that was the
yes,
one.
Yeah. I remember watching that I was like probably 6 years old, just singing along to Because I Got High. I had no idea what that shit meant. I think I watched Super Troopers as well at that age. It was just fucked.
Oh yeah, you were just destined for absolute.
These schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Right.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
I was watching things like American Pie.
Oh my God.
Watch some guy fuck a pie.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the stuff that we grew up on. I mean these kids have euphoria.
Euphoria is like, but I watched.
Euphoria is like a downer, isn't it?
Yeah, so I tried to watch Euphoria back in like 2022 when it was like at its peak.
Yeah.
And I just remember like finishing episode 3, and I think it was just it's like this is
like
just
teenage
fucked.
Breaking Bad, basically.
Yeah, and I was like, but this is just fucked. These are children. Like, I was like, this is just. I mean, but like,
At least our shit was funny.
I mean, like Skins. That's the closest that was like. You remember the UK Skins with like Tony and Effie and stuff.
Yes.
That was great because at least they were just getting like hella drugs and having an awesome time and then still showing up to school and fucking with their parents.
Yeah.
Whereas Euphoria is like, my parent beats me and someone gets assaulted, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
sweet. And we did MDMA at a carnival.
I think everything starts at what's that movie? Everything after Us immediately starts at Mysterious Skin with Michelle Trachtenberg and
Mysterious? I know Michelle Trachtenberg, but
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Like, never say I didn't give you anything. When next
well, I know what I'm doing tonight.
you see Mysterious Skin, that'll explain everything.
Okay, all right. I'll be watching that tonight.
Everything just
Wait, no, I'm not watching that
rolling downhill. After this.
It was when we hit the Scary Movie 3.
Oh, yeah. No, it was still funny for me.
It was funny, but like after that, it was not funny. Like the Wayans brothers sort of just like, I mean,
I'm ready to see the new one though. I'm not even going.
Oh no, fuck yeah, I'm watching that for sure.
Yeah,
there'll be some lame jokes in it for sure though. But
oh yeah, I'm ready.
Back to the album Distracted. So, produced by Greg Kurstin.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's got a lot of those sort of 60s, 70s pop sensibilities to it, especially with the Lemon Twigs features.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Which I really enjoyed. I felt like I was listening to What Is Left to Say. I was walking home yesterday and I was doing that in the Nicole Kidman, Tom Cruise free paper. I was like, what's left to say? I was hitting that shit. Because like you've always had like funk and soul sort of at the heart of the music, but this feels like you've brought in more like almost like a Bee Gees quality to it, with particularly those songs.
Thank you.
And I want to know, like, I guess what was it like in the studio there? Like, what were you trying to achieve, I guess, with those songs? Like, am I on the mark there?
Well, I've never, again, I try not to shut the doors of what can be with things. And like, even if something feels a bit of a challenge, I try to like, meet it where it's at, even, in the manner that I can and stuff like that. And I think that working with the Twigs, like one thing that I always feel like is kind of like a little bit of a missing element of things that exist now is said songwriter. A lot of the time, and again, like there's so many ways to create these things, but I literally, when I think about the ability to play and sing and write and it being such a cohesive thing, it's kind of like it gets lost or washed over with pop culture sometimes. And then, or there are moments where it can be very definitive or defining it to it, like look at Lady Gaga, you know what I mean? But it's one of those things where I'm like, it's very like, it's such a weird line in a weird place that exists that I could only describe it where it's like, I get excited at moments like that. And
do you think maybe like sometimes the songwriting is sacrificed for like the hook, like getting people?
That's one way to put it, for the hook. It's like the convenience of people can't process more, or something like that's a notion that people don't have the ability to process more, or like we have this giant gap that exists in moments like that where it gets ran over. And I think with the Twig, it was kind of like, there was no fear between us of what it could be. With Kenny Beats, who has not
Kenneth
Bloom. Now.
Kenneth Bloom.
Sorry,
you mean Kenny Beats, the Police?
The mature Kenneth.
Yeah, he's doing rock albums now. He switched up.
So Kenny Yeats.
Kenny Yeats.
Kenny Yeats. That's your new name, bro.
Right.
It's gone from Kenny Beats to Kenny Yeats. We just tried to stretch that muscle.
Yeah.
Writing songs.
Like not trying to, because I think like a lot of the ways that people, and even like the way that I guess like record labels and execs would sort of think about a song now would be like, people's first impression used to be the radio. You used to listen to the whole song. Yeah. Now it's like you get dropped in a minute and a half through the song for 15 seconds, and that's where your impression has to be made.
Yeah, and it's like it's lost. Like I said, it gets washed with for everything from the business to, the
media it's shown on as well.
Yeah, and I think that those moments on the album, and there's again, we wrote a few things, and those moments to me. They just represent a breath of fresh air, Like I really enjoyed the Twigs' work, And I didn't realize even at first, like, you know, a couple of friends, and when I mentioned that I was working with them, a couple of my friends, Daryl Johns and Pedro Martins, they were just like, oh yeah, the Twigs, they're amazing.
They're fucking cool.
Yeah, and I think Daryl used to play with the Twigs.
They do. Yeah, Daryl Johns, he's on like Max record label and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
so when Daryl found out, he was like, oh, you work with, he's like, oh, yeah, that's my old friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. I was like, and there you go.
Well, because they do callback music. They like, obviously it is like very much inspired by like the 60s, but it doesn't sound like a cheap veneer. Like it actually sounds.
It's really.
Yeah.
Here we go. Like it's genuine. In a day and age where everything kind of lacks that, again, the Twigs represent that.
Yeah.
You know,
they've slowed it right down for themselves.
The writing with them felt timeless. It felt like it was kind of like, it was that thing that you can't put your finger on. So like even when it comes to lyrically, like the part where we were going back and forth about stuff, and it's like, what about this? And I'm like, well, I would have these moments. Like I think one of my favorite lyrics in the songs that we wrote together were like, feelings are like children in a car. You can't put them in the trunk, but let them drive and you won't go far. And I remember they just looked at me like, what the hell is wrong with you?
I think my favorite line was, these are not the droids you're looking for.
These aren't the droids you're looking for. It's like we found our magic in that moment.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that it translated, you know?
Well, speaking of, I guess like one of the things that I feel like as someone who's been listening to your music since basically like I'd probably say 2015, I feel like with some of the collaborators you work on, it's not just collaborators. I feel like you actually are kind of like bros with everyone you work with, like super tightly.
You know, one would hope that was how they felt about me also.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. I mean, that's what it comes across as. And I mean, like, I just think about some of the people you've worked with over the years. It's obviously To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
What I wanted to talk about that was actually the Untitled Unmastered, because I fucking loved those. I wouldn't even call them B-sides. Like they felt like the darker sort of like the less commercially accessible, like sort of like people at the label would be like, oh, maybe just
right.
And the two tracks that I really want to call out is Untitled 5 and 8. Do you remember it goes Untitled 5 is the one that it bleeds in from 4 and you have that bass line, and then there's Untitled 8, which I think that's more you like backing vocals and bass and stuff.
Blue Faces.
Blue
Faces.
Yes.
Yes.
Walking around with them blue faces. Yeah. And I just want to know, like, I guess, is there anything you can tell me about the Untitled Unmastered record that maybe I wouldn't know?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Kendrick lays it all out there for everybody to see. And one thing I do, like I said, I do love and appreciate about how Kendrick has shown up with this music. It's like there's a fingerprint that he leaves on it. So even where it comes to texture and like feel of stuff, you recognize things. So like even from Terrace to like the moments with me to the moments with Soundwave to everybody that was involved with that project, it's a Mono Poly, who also created Untitled, was at 8. We created that together.
Yeah.
And
Anna Wise is on Untitled 5. Her vocals.
Yeah.
I really wanted to come back on whatever he's got coming up on in the future because she's great.
You know, legendary run. But I don't know what I could tell you about it that you don't fully hear and see based on like, it's almost like a dish that's prepared.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you could try to break it down in certain respects, but it's kind of like
you're also getting it all right there as well.
Yeah.
In every bite.
Yeah. You can hear and taste and see the colors and sounds that he was painting with. This was really like I guess I forget those moments that like are such a moment like that, because it's like and it's hard to believe that it was such a long time ago. I think as you were saying that, there was one line that literally just haunts me to this day, where he was just like, why would you want to see a grown man with a broken heart? And that like it still echoes in my brain from Untitled 5. Like I remember he's spitting. Yeah. I remember I felt seen when he said that.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh my God, he says that thing. He says that thing. He knows that feeling.
Yeah.
Talking about those songs is like I immediately see the things going on at the time. I like the Untitled 8.
Yeah.
I remember
that's a really fun one.
That was created with me and Mono Poly and my good friend Brooke Ariel, she's singing the top line on top of my voice on that. So like I remember the sights and sounds of what was going on at that time, and even with the Untitled 5, it's just trippy. It's trippy, and I'm happy that it touched the world the way it did.
Yeah, it was something you were saying. I think it was on one of the Zane Lowe interviews about Lil Yachty. and it's something that I've seen through like other artists and stuff like that. So obviously you've gone from like metal and like punk basically to soul and funk.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bar.
Hey, man.
Super hot flames, boy.
My man. Because I spit like fire. Dylan, and
Psych, that's the wrong number. No. Okay, so yeah, so you've made that transition, but I mean, I feel like with Yachty, so when he did Black Seminole,
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm chilling, bro.
you're chilling.
Yeah.
So
I had a lot of spinach. There's a lot of
what does that do to
magnesium.
you? You get like Popeye? You
Yeah.
get fucking buffed
Yeah,
up.
I feel like I just run straight through a brick wall right now, bro.
I just
It really is like that. Did you
Yeah.
know that? Like, you eat spinach, eat like a massive amount of spinach. That's a lot of magnesium.
guess what I'm getting for lunch. So yeah, I mean, like with that transition that that he made with the Black Seminole, that album, I know obviously he still like goes back into hip hop.
Yeah.
But I feel like the reaction from some of the diehard fans, people who claim themselves to be big fans,
Yeah.
it gets real. It's like they go, "You've stepped out of the box that I put you into my head."
Yeah.
So I'm gonna berate you for it, and it happens with so many other artists.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, particularly any like hip hop artists who try to do something different to hip hop.
Yeah.
And I guess I just kind of want to like know your thoughts on like what you think about.
People not allowing artists to change and grow.
Basically, yeah.
I think that maturity is a real thing. I always persist that, like, you know, in a world where it's so business driven and everybody's looking for numbers and like, marketing and all these things like this. I think that music exists with it, but it's not necessarily meant to always be informative to it. I always look at when you put your music out, you're always putting yourself out there to be judged, even if that's not your intention. But with that being said, I also feel like we do tend to like bring people up and then tear them down when they get somewhere. And that also is not indicative of the music created. I think that's a byproduct of said insatiable like need for like what you want. It's almost like it's a dopamine hit for people when you give them that thing that they, and so when it becomes less of a high for them, then you start, again, like the come down is always complicated for people to process. But I also think that it's a bit of I've always believed that your core fans will always understand.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things where it's like, you gotta allow artists to grow and change. And
why get mad at it?
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, like that's one thing that we just have been fighting for ages for some reason. You don't allow artists to grow, change, get old. You want them the way you want them when you see them every time. Like, they better do the song that I knew you did. And it's like, it's true. Like I saw Justin Bieber's performance at Coachella.
Oh yeah.
I was there for it. I got my Justin Bieber moments. I love Lil Biebs. And it's one of those things where I was like, all the business behind what he's done and how, but like even like the man he is now is not the man or the kid he was. And a lot of the time, people's speculation of stuff like that is just like absurd to me, because you're meant to get old. You're meant to change.
Yeah.
You're meant to.
Why do you want someone who's like 30 years old to be acting like a 16-year-old?
Yeah, it's like his voice doesn't even sound the same. You know what I mean? And I'm like, was one of my favorite Bieber songs was like Favorite Girl. And I can still sing it in the same original key.
Can you? I mean, you're gonna have to do it now.
I'm not about to do nothing.
Come on.
No.
Oh, just a little.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
No, sir.
Well, I don't know.
But it's one of those things where even seeing him, getting a chance to see him perform it, and then he's singing, I always knew you were. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man voice.
Getting it.
He's starting to sound like Larry Graham.
He's gonna by the time he gets to 40, he's gonna be like Tom Waits.
Yeah, he's I loved it though. I love to see the grown version, of Biebs. And I'm also just like, the only place I think that people allow people to grow and change, I think, or a lot of the time, not even grow and change, but like your fans that stay with you and understand that dynamic about you is like the rock world, metal.
Yeah.
It's like there's the
most understanding fan base.
Yeah, because they know that this is a journey. Allow your artist to grow.
Yeah.
Allow them to change.
And enjoy it too.
Yeah.
It's a privilege to be able to see that as well.
They'll be with you to the end if you allow them. David Bowie was writing on his deathbed.
Yeah.
Jay Dilla was writing on his deathbed. It was for y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't take that for granted.
Who was the artist who said, "Don't release any of my posthumous"? Was that Prince? He had
Was
like
it Prince?
I think he had like
No, Andy got a tattoo that. Yo, Prince definitely was like, don't even
Oh,
Prince,
yeah, and
Prince was like, don't even release my music while I'm alive. Like, let alone when I'm dead, blow the whole estate up. Like I was never here. Like what, bro? It was Andy Anderson got the tattoo.
Yes,
that
yeah,
said, when
don't-
I'm dead, don't release any of my music. I'm gonna release your music, Andy.
open the vault.
It's gonna be my fault, Andy. I promise. I promise.
All right, that's us.
My man.